Hello, my very dear Scorpios. This is your reading for the week of June 29th. Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising. And of course, it won't be for everybody. Scorpio, I really like this because the first image that I'm getting as I started to work with your energy was you putting on padding on your hips, the way a drag queen would, where you're really accentuating the female form. But it's done in a way that is really quite beautiful and lovely and really accentuates things for the point of drawing attention. Now, this is female energy. And of course, we all have female energy. It doesn't matter what gender we are. We all have female energy. We all have male energy. It's yin, it's yang. It's meant to be together in balance. So what I'm getting with this, my dears, is that for many of you, you may not have really been able to embrace some of the aspects associated with the sacred feminine, because that's the feeling I'm getting. It's the honoring of the feminine, which I consider drag to be. So that's what they're using, I would imagine, is why. But it's really going back to what does the sacred feminine represent, and where have you not embodied that in your life? This is not about you putting on makeup or putting on padding. This is about you living that from the inside. And what does that mean? Well, the sacred feminine, we associate it with intuition, with nurturing, with being rather than doing, with really being in touch with the cycles of the earth and the cycles in your own body. And intuition and creativity and many different things that we associate with spiritual. Now, it doesn't mean to say it has to specifically be that, but what it's really calling you to look at is where in your life have you not embodied those traits? Where have you been driven more by your mind, by the male energy, to think, to do, to be logical, not always logical, but to think and to do and to get things done? And where does that come from? So the card that I'm getting is can't and won't. And can't and won't. And then why not? Who says so? For me, it's what image do you have of yourself that has been something you've carried from childhood, that has told you either directly or indirectly that this is who you need to be in order to be safe, to be loved, to be valued, whatever it is. What characteristics have you taken on that have you continued to use that may have been very helpful in certain circumstances, but that were out of balance with the opposite energy, and in this case specifically the female energy? You've also got the why not, who says so, which is really asking you to look at that and say, where does this belief come from? Because if it's something that I have accidentally absorbed from, say, a family structure, look at the family structure. If it was dysfunctional, do you want to keep that trait that a dysfunctional family structure put upon you? Or is it time for you to reevaluate that? And I love this too because you get the cognitive distortions card. Well, what's a cognitive distortion? Again, the example I usually use is I have nothing to wear. That's a cognitive distortion. It's not factual. I have stuff to wear. I would just like something new to wear. Okay, so when you look at cognitive distortions in your life, they're statements that are made as though they are a fact, and they tend to be closed-ended. I have no clothes, okay? But it's very different. If you feel the energy of it, it's very different when I say, I have clothes, I just would like something new. It's not a dead end. It's a statement of a fact, and now where does that fact take me? It takes me to, I would like something new, or maybe I just have to look again and see what's in there for me. You never know. Or maybe I'm going to hem something I didn't hem, or iron something I don't want to iron. Either way, it gives you opportunities to move forward. Now, there was something else that came in at the very beginning. And what was it? Yes, this is you. The thing that seems to be really important with this, as I was starting to tune in with the energy, it was that sense of, it's the cycles, but it's the flow. It's the rhythm of the flow. And what they're saying is when you can slow down your rhythm, that's where you start getting into the feeling of cycles. When you can start feeling rhythms and being aware of the rhythm, you can literally adjust the rhythm to help adjust the way your mind is thinking, how you're breathing, what you're doing. Can you move into, therefore, things like dance, like movement? But again, movement that is expressive rather than just say, for example, a dance routine that is step, 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 step. Maybe like a line dance or something of that nature, but it could even be more so, but one more so. I'm going to speak now in a sentence. It can be something more complicated than a line dance, but as long as it's something where you are focusing just on the steps, thank you, and not the feeling of the movement, it's not going to give you the same kind of experience of yourself and of that flow that's associated with the sacred feminine. Scorpio, I love this. I really feel like this is a call out for you because many of you have worked really hard physically, not just physically like lifting and moving things, but really hard to achieve things and get things done. This is now saying, can you move into that flow, that different rhythm? And can you start using your feeling and your statement to start creating new opportunities in your day? You you get remorse and guilt too. Can't and won't. So for me, this is letting the past go and deciding now how you want to experience your day and realizing that you don't have to follow through and continue living your life based on any of those cognitive distortions. Okay? Let go, forgive. This is like really about expanding yourself beyond any limitations that you've had in your psychology, in your attitude towards things, but also just understanding the nature of growth in this situation, which is liberation, freedom, expansion, and self-exploration. So I'm going to leave you with that, my very dear Scorpios. Have fun and much love. Take care.